now. It didn't impede his ability. It didn't impede. No, I completely forgot what I was saying. It didn't impede his ability to forgive, to be generous, to be honest, be generous, to be compassionate. Somebody's going to have to tell me what I'm supposed to say. Okay, let's see what Bhakti Ketan says. I've observed initiated and second initiated devotees consuming chocolate or products containing cocoa. Well, can't take coffee, but I've personally experienced that if we intake too much cocoa, we don't fall asleep. At one point I even heard GB permitted chocolate, yeah. So the answer to that question is, if you like chocolate, take initiation from a guru who likes chocolate. That solves the whole problem. If you don't like chocolate, you don't have to worry. How did chocolate come up with Lord Nrshmadev? Lord Nrshmadev likes chocolate. Okay, my answer about chocolate is, the first time I ate chocolate was 5 years after I was a devotee at the Mayapur festival in India. So go figure that one out. That's my answer to the chocolate. That's my answer to the two answers to the chocolate dilemma. That's the first place I ate it. Of course, it doesn't validate it. Maybe they were spaced out. My third answer is, we used to distribute prasadam and distribute chocolate milk, to which we would drink at night and go to sleep. So I guess if you drank 3 quarts of it, maybe you'd stay awake. But I'll leave it up to you. If you feel like you're getting intoxicated eating chocolate, don't eat it. But one thing I can say, it is quite addicting. Well, maybe not. I mean, it's addicting while you're eating it because you want to eat more. But some devotees don't and some do. And I don't really know how important it is. I think it's important for some people, but if in doubt, don't. Okay. Is it why it said, Prem Kishore is asking, is why it said a devotee is more merciful than Krishna? Krishna's position as God, as Vishnu, is that he goes more by the law books. Okay, this is how it is. As they surrender to me, I reward accordingly. You don't surrender, you don't get it. But a devotee doesn't go by the law books, so he sees someone who hasn't surrendered, and he goes up to them and says, here, take Krishna's mercy. So a devotee, he knows in his heart that Krishna really wants that everyone get his mercy, but Krishna as God has an official position, so he upholds that official position. Wow. Listen to that. Doesn't that sound like an alarm? Security alarm? Like a car security alarm? They don't have any in India. That's a bird. That bird is called a fire alarm bird. Yes. So, Krishna has a policy, as they surrender to me, I reward accordingly. Ye yata mam papadyante tam stadave bhajamyaham. As you surrender, I reward accordingly. Okay, don't surrender, no rewards. You surrender, rewards. More surrender, more rewards. That's his official position. Now, where is his heart? Devotee understands his heart is that he wants every conditioned soul. So, to go back to guidance. So when Lord Chaitanya comes, he comes as a devotee because if he comes as God, he has to maintain that official position. So he can't maintain that official position. But as a devotee, he can go out and give mercy to everybody. So just as Lord Chaitanya goes out and gives mercy to everybody, that's what a devotee does. Knowing that deep down, that's what Krishna wants. So, therefore, a devotee is more merciful. Now, another way of looking at that is that Krishna is glorifying his devotees by allowing the devotees to be more merciful than he is. right? So he's letting us show the mercy, and by showing the mercy, then we get glorified. So now, I believe that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said that if a devotee wants to give mercy, then Krishna will give mercy to that person. But the devotee first has to want to give mercy. The way Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur basically explains it is that a devotee points his finger, here, give mercy to this person, or I want to give mercy to this person, and that causes Krishna to give his mercy there. So Krishna takes that position that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Krishna's mercy follows the devotee. So the devotees sing, over here, over here, over here. And then Prabhupada's spreading of Krishna consciousness was showing mercy to so many people. And so Krishna's reciprocating and giving the mercy. Now, a devotee understands that people on their own will find it virtually impossible to be Krishna conscious unless they have mercy under them, pushing them up. So the devotee's always wanting to give mercy. And by nature, we resisted. That's our conditioning. So the devotee's always giving kindness, affection through his instructions, through his inspiration. So in that sense, every one of us in the Krishna consciousness movement is meant to be like Prahlad Maharaj. We're all meant to be like little Prahlad Maharaj. It's just giving mercy, and even people try to harass us or harm us, we still are kind, we still give mercy, we don't take revenge, we don't fight back. Like you know, it's so interesting. And like if you study this pastime, you'll see that there's absolutely no enmity in the heart of Prahlad Maharaj. There's nothing. He doesn't. It's not like this is some novel where he goes into the dark night of the soul and he says, I'm a devotee of Vishnu. Narada Muni spoke the Bhagavatam in my womb, but right now I'm confronted with all these mixed emotions. I want my father to be killed. I can't stand him. I want his whole dynasty to be killed. I hate my teachers. I can't go to class another day. It would make a good Hollywood movie. But that's not what he's going through. It's just clear. It's a clear path. He's not going through any of that. It's just Krishna, whatever you want. And then finally, Krishna kills his father. Okay, you killed my father. That's what you want. Okay. So now let's move forward and continue our bhakti. And let's bring everyone else back to Godhead. No, nothing negative. Is that amazing? So Prahlad Maharaj sets this example for us, that we should be that way also. In our giving of Krishna consciousness, everybody's not always kind to us, but we're kind to them. I know it's difficult. I know sometimes it just doesn't seem fair. Why should I have to be the one to do this and tolerate insults and go through austerities just to try to give people Krishna consciousness, and most people don't even want it. A lot of them resist it because that's the mood of a devotee, and somebody in the world has to do it. And if somebody didn't do it for us, we wouldn't be here, right? So because they did it for us, we do it for somebody else. And so Prahlad Maharaj is our inspiration. Okay. Gurunishta says, in tough situations I pray to Lord Nrshmadev. Have been praying to him, but I don't see any change. Is it that I need to surrender more and pray more, or should I just accept the situation? It's Krishna's will. How to differentiate? How about everything? Just because we're praying for an improvement in the situation doesn't mean that necessarily that's what Krishna wants. Or, look at it this way, it's another way. Maybe this situation, the way it's going is the way he wants it, and that is the improvement. And what you're praying for is what you think is the improvement, but maybe it's not the improvement. Of course, then you might say, well, how do I know what the improvement is? Well, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you just have to say, Lord Nrshmadev, I'm in difficulty. Please do what's best. or please give me the intelligence, please give me the strength to deal with this, please help me understand it, please guide me how I should pray. There's so many ways you can look at it. You know, it's interesting, this one god sister of mine that I was close with, I believe she got liver cancer, and it was like, I think 3 years ago. And when she got cancer, it was some critical disease, and she was otherwise very healthy. And so the day I got to Mayapur, I prayed to Lord Nrshmadev for her, but I think she actually had died maybe like 5 hours before I was praying. So, you know, that was Krishna's desire. So, you don't always know what Krishna wants. So you pray according to what you think Krishna wants, what would be the best thing. Then you stand back. And in hindsight, you'll know what the best thing is. At some point, you'll know. You may not always know, but... Or you can pray to Lord Nrshmadev, please do what's best. If you think this is best, please do that. If not, don't. And if we can be like Prahlad Maharaj and say, okay, well, whatever's happening, then I accept that. And maybe there's something I'm supposed to understand because of what's happening. Maybe I'm not doing my part to make things better, and maybe that's the message. Maybe Lord Nrshmadev wants me to be more active and not just sit back and pray. If things will get better, maybe he wants me to do something also, because that's always a fault of... It's always a potential fault, is that we're praying for something, but we're not doing anything. Krishna, please make this happen. You know that joke, oh God, please help me win the lottery. Oh God, please help me win the lottery. And, oh God, please help me win the lottery. And then God sends a message back to the person. And so God says, buy a lottery ticket. So, you gotta at least do something if you're praying for something, right? And sometimes we do things and we get ourselves into difficulty, and so we're praying to get out of the difficulty that we put ourselves into by not acting properly. So we have to understand that also, that may be there. And then there's another factor, sometimes it's just the way the material world is and the way people are in the material world is that things may not go properly. And sometimes we may pray to the Lord for protection, but at the same time people have their independence and they can use it to make our lives difficult. But, the highest aspect of a devotee is the surrender. Okay, Krishna, this is the situation I'm in. And it's difficult, and I'm praying it could be better, but at the same time, please give me the strength to deal with it. Please help me be optimistic within it. Please help me see maybe this is your will, that this happens. I look at my life sometimes and I think, well, it would be but for my service it would be better if A, B, and C happens, but only D, E, and F are happening. But because D, E, and F are happening, then it causes me to do certain services. And sometimes I think, well, maybe Krishna doesn't want A, B, and C to happen, because when D, E, and F happen, I end up doing these other services. And maybe that's what Krishna wants me to do. So he keeps making D, E, and F happen, but not A, B, and C. I don't know for sure, but it's a thought. Oh, if A, B, and C happens, it seems that things would be better. It seems that my life would be less difficult. It seems that I would be doing more service, but maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not what Krishna wants. Maybe it wouldn't be the best thing for me. So I'm praying for A, B, and C. Maybe that's the wrong thing to pray for. There's this idea of praying to God to change things, to change a situation. But contrasting that, there's the idea of praying to God for the strength to deal with the situation, which is an interesting angle, and it's much different. Oh God, please change this situation. Oh God, Please give me the strength to deal with the situation. See the difference? Now, if the situation is really bad, it's not Krishna conscious, then you could say, oh, Krishna or Lord Nrshmadev, please improve this situation, but until it improves, or if your desire is that it stays this way, please give me the intelligence, the strength, the patience, the tolerance to deal with it. So, it's not always easy to understand what is happening because of Krishna's will, what's happening because we are doing things wrong, what's happening because we're not desiring properly. So these are all things you have to consider. So I don't know if you're more confused now or less confused, but if you're more confused, then ask me. Ask me more. Okay. On Nrshingha Chaturdashi, do we break our fasting with the Ekadashi Prasad? Normally we break with the Ekadashi on all the fast days. That's of the incarnations. Is it necessary to do Nirjala fast till sunset? That's ideal. I recommend it. Lord Nrshmadev will be, unless you're going to faint, Lord Nrshmadev is very happy when you fast, and you don't want to get him angry. So, I just read a t-shirt today. It said, hard work never killed anybody, but why take a chance? That's a saying in America. Hard work, you should work hard. Hard work never killed anybody. You're not going to die if you work hard. But if you're lazy, you'll say, yeah, that's true, but hard work could kill you, so why take a chance? So, Lord Nrshmadev, he likes it when you fast. So, I recommend it. I wouldn't, You don't want to play around with getting Lord Nrshmadev on your bad side. That's not a good idea. What things do we do on Nrshingha Chaturdashi or in everyday life other than praying? What should please him the most? Well, for us in the Kali Yuga, it's all about kirtan. So more kirtan, more chanting. And absorption in Lord Nrshmadev's just absorbed in the Leela, understanding, like such a good day to get absorbed in the Leela, to read it, to discuss it, to think about it, to think about your relationship with Lord Nrshmadev, how you want to pursue that relationship, how you can strengthen that relationship, how you can be more dependent on him, maybe how you want to take more chances in Krishna service. Now, Kush says, a lot of people let their minds trick them into thinking they can't fast. Unless you have a really difficult physical condition, I think what Kush is saying, you just get hungry and say, I get too hungry or too weak. And it's true, if you think like that, then it could be difficult to fast. If you actually have a physical condition and you're just going to fall over and faint, like I feel right now, then then maybe you have a little fruit or something to pull you through. But as far as possible, we should be fasting on these fast days. We'll get more mercy, we'll get strength. Lord Nrshmadev's blessings. And, everything in Krishna consciousness is all about blessings. It's not really ultimately that we are doing anything, but it's the blessings of the Vaishnavas, it's the blessings of Guru, blessings of Prabhupada, blessings of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda. It's all about blessings. So the idea is that whatever we could do to get blessings, we should do. And then obviously on Lord Nrshmadev's appearance day, the appearance day of the acharyas or the incarnations is the day is when you get the most blessings, that they're most willing to benedict us. And as far as fasting, Prabhupada said you just have to make your mind up the night before. I gave a class on vows, and I was studying an interesting an author who was talking about commitment, and he was explaining the psychology of commitment, and he was saying that if you're 99% committed to something, that 1% that you're not committed could make it extremely difficult to be committed, because you've left your door open 1%, and so your mind is not fully fixed. But he said, if you commit 100%, then it's easy, because now there's no question of not doing it, so you just don't think about it. But if you leave the 1% open and you think, well, if it doesn't work, then I won't fast till sunset. Now here in Mayapur, sunset is like 5:30 in the evening, so it's not that bad. In Alaska, I don't know when the sun sets, or some places by the equator, I don't know, But here it's not so bad. So that's the idea when you're making a vow. Basically, Prabhupada's making this point, that when you commit fully, okay, this is what I'm going to do, it's actually not that difficult, because since you've committed, well, there's really no thought about not doing it. So once you commit 100%, it's pretty easy. But if you don't commit 100%, that little percent you didn't commit, that's what causes the problem. So Kush is on Skype. She couldn't get onto the chat. It was limited to 10 people. So she said, if you're engaged, yeah. I would say just, it's a great day to get absorbed in hearing chanting and about Lord Nrshmadev, and go much more, go more deeply into who Lord Nrshmadev is, who your relationship with him is, what are we meant to learn from the past time, all of that. It's just a great day to do that, and then whatever you get on Lord Nrshmadev's appearance day, in terms of your relationship with him, then you just carry that with you. You carry that with you through the rest of the year. Does that make sense? I don't know if anything I'm saying makes sense, but when I get tired, I don't know if I'm making sense. And as far as Bhakti Ketan saying, well, what about everyday life? But he's our shelter, our protector. I'm making sense. Everyday life, we see Lord Nrshmadev as that. In addition to praying for the devotees, when I see Lord Nrshmadev, I kind of feel like, okay, it's time for heart surgery. Here I am, and, you go in and you just pull the dirt out, that's another way. It's another way devotees see Lord Nrshmadev as, the surgeon who goes in the heart, and you just pull out all the dirt, pull out all the lust, pull everything out. So you can pray to Lord Nrshmadev that way, please pull out the dirt. And I also, when I go in front of Lord Nrshmadev here in Mayapur, I always pray for protection, spiritual protection. I do always, please remove all obstacles, or not remove obstacles, but don't allow me to be affected by obstacles. Please give me spiritual protection, so that I always remain enthusiastic in your service, and that nothing deviates me. So that's kind of the ongoing relationship we have with Lord Nrshmadev. And again, as Prabhupada said, as the protector of our movement also. So Bhakti Ketan says, it's very difficult to be 100% dependent on Krishna, as generally we take shelter of our job, house, relatives, society. We feel protected under these material things. As Grace Radhika Nagar Prabhu said, we must be fully dependent on Krishna in order to be a real devotee. It's true. If I don't fall asleep while I'm sitting here, I can continue a little bit longer. This is an interesting question, because, okay, I don't think, I think the way to answer this question is that being 100% dependent on Krishna doesn't mean you don't do your duties, material duties, to take care of things. But what it means is, and I think we said this before, what it means is you're dependent on Krishna to make it all work. So let's say Bhakti Ketan, let's say you're a grihasta, or you want to become a grihasta, so then you'll have responsibilities. So being 100% surrendered doesn't mean, okay, I give all these responsibilities over to Krishna. I mean, it could mean that, but if it comes to that level where you just, it like goes beyond duty, that's a very high level of Krishna consciousness. But generally, what Prabhupada taught us, no, you're dependent, but you're doing your duty. So you're engaging in practical things to protect your family. But you understand the principle that ultimately, I can't protect them. Only Krishna can protect them, because I can't even protect my own life. What if I die tomorrow? So then I can no longer protect them. So ultimately, I'm not the protector. And I could lose my job. I could even lose my ability to think. And then I wouldn't be able to work even if I didn't lose my job. So there's that sense of Krishna's protection. Now, if you're absorbed in ecstatic love for Krishna, then you're like so dependent on Krishna. You just like, it's like you won't make any effort. It's just like, Krishna, you don't maintain me, then I die of starvation. I don't know if your wife will like that, especially when she hasn't eaten for 3 days. But even if you can't live that way, you can still have that mentality. Krishna, I'm completely dependent on you for my job, for everything. So, see, it's kind of a balance there. You don't want to lose the balance by becoming irresponsible. And you don't want to lose the balance by thinking it all depends on you. You're doing everything because you're responsible, you're maintaining your family like that. Because Prahlad Maharaj says that, like, you have loving parents, but how well can they protect you? So, Srivas and his family, he didn't work. And he told Mahaprabhu, he said, if Krishna doesn't feed me, then I'm just going to jump on the Ganga and kill myself with all my family members. So that's a pretty elevated state of trust. And, if you have a wife and 3 kids, you may not want to adopt that, especially if you're not Srivas Thakur, because if your faith isn't that strong and you don't go to work for like 5 years, you may not be able to put food on the table. Now, if your faith was on that level and your advancement was on that level, you probably would be okay. You probably wouldn't have to worry about anything, and everything would be taken care of. Might not be taken care of as well as you'd like, but So I think a lot depends on the individual, and I think what you're referring to is kind of the out of balance on the other side. We have to make all these material arrangements, and that making the material arrangements becomes like more important than depending on Krishna. So, like Krishna says, everything you do depend on me for the results. So it's the mentality is most important, and then you do your dharma. It's like Krishna told Arjuna, fight. He didn't say, I'll do it. Sit back and relax, enjoy the flight, and I'll do it all. No, he wanted him to, he said, I'll do it, but you do it. I'll do it through you. So that idea is there. I'll do it through you. Hasika says, I really like that, to ask not only for physical protection, but also spiritual protection. Be fixed in Krishna conscious, less focused on material things. And you could say whatever your obstacle is in Krishna consciousness, you can pray to Lord Nrshmadev to help you overcome it. Whatever fear you have, you can pray to Lord Nrshmadev to help you overcome that fear. And aside from that, you can try to feel his protection, or know that his protection is there, and feel it, that Lord Nrshmadev does protect his devotees. He's there for them, and there's so many stories about that. So, since that's all the questions you have, it's late, you should take rest. Now I have your blessings to take rest. I've got Kusha's blessings, and I've got Bhakti Ketan's blessings, and I've got Guru Nishta's blessings. So, 3 blessings to take rest. Wow. I guess I'm going to take rest. Okay. So, thank you all. And the next class is Tuesday night, which is Wednesday morning for me, Lord Nrshmadev's appearance day. So, that will be interesting. Maybe we'll get more into the Leela. Talk a little bit more about the Leela. Okay? You like my background here? My new format that I've set my room up in. I think it's better. Lighting's not better because the lights are shining. It's not my effulgence, you see, it's light bulbs. That's a whole other problem. I have to put paper over the light bulbs. It's not professional to have lights shining on your head. Right? Okay, so have a good, today is what, Saturday for you, have a good Saturday. And think of Lord Nrshmadev, read the pastimes in Bhagavatam, 7th canto. And you can go on YouTube and you can see all kinds of Hindi movies about Lord Nrshmadev, and cartoons, and all kinds of things. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Nrsimhadev ki jai, Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.